NewsTribune sports writer Chris Yukas, and I'm here with NT sports editor Kevin Klum and NewsTribune sports writer Jared Bell, back from Miami. And today on NT Prep Preview, we're going to take a look back at this weekend's Princeton Invitational Wrestling Tournament and look ahead to this weekend's action on the hardwood. Jared, you were at the pit this weekend. Pretty good performance from at least one wrestler I know.
Yeah, Ottawa's junior Cyrano Rayfield, a 220-pounder, really had a great weekend. It's kind of a really good all-around weekend for the Pirates. They had about 4 or 5 kids place in the top 8, but Cyrano had, like I said, finished second in his weight. A little unexpected. There were a lot of really tough kids at that weight. I believe there were 8 or 9 kids who were ranked in the top 10 or so by IllinoisMatman.com, just kind of the main wrestling rankings. So he was good. You also had Alex Fuentes, who finished 4th at 195 for Ottawa. You had Sean or Seth, I can't remember which one, but it's always him. The heavyweights, and then you also had Daniel Close that placed 5th. You also had Devin Jones who placed. So, they finished 10th as a team, which a couple years ago, if you would have told me that they would have placed 10th as a team at the PIT, which is one of the top tournaments in the state, that would have been saying something, because it's a very impressive field and a very impressive place. Obviously, the host Tigers didn't have quite the same success. They were down. They're rebuilding a little bit. They did have Drew Pranka, who got to the quarterfinals but then lost both of his matches. So it's a learning experience for them, but it's, like I said, a great weekend for the Pirates.
From the PIT to IBCC, the Eagles men's and ladies basketball teams are having a strong start to the season. Kevin, what's on tap for the Eagles coming up?
Well, both teams will open conference play on Thursday against Kishwaukee in Oglesby. For the women, that's going to be a big game, because that's kind of been their team. They've been, it's either Kishwaukee or IBCC winning the conference and winning the region the last couple of years. So that's a tough test at the start. And the Lady Eagles ranked number 10 in the country. The men are also off to a strong start. They're 11-3, had a big win on Monday at the United Center, and for their first game since the long Christmas break. And we'll see how they handle playing Kish in the conference opener.
On to the high school hardwood. The girls' Tri-County Conference tournament starts this weekend. Who are some of the teams to look out for in that, Kevin?
Well, the number 1 seed, who everybody has been talking about since the preseason, is Peoria Christian. They're a very talented team. They reached a title game last year and actually had Marquette on the ropes down like 16 at the half, but Marquette came back to win the title last year. Marquette will be in the mix as the number 3 seed. They're 11-7. They had a little bit of a rough start to the season, but they've been playing better lately. And then you got Putnam County, who recent years has been not too much of a force in the Tri-County, but they are turned around. They're 17-2. They're the number 2 seed, and we'll get a sneak peek at probably the title game, or possibly the title game, I should say, of the tournament on Thursday. Peoria Christian and Putnam County play at Peoria Christian in the regular season matchup that will decide the conference title of the regular season, and then they might play again the following week in the tournament title game. We'll see, but Putnam County and Marquette will likely meet in the semifinals and go on from there. But it should be a good tournament. Those top 3 teams are all pretty good. After that, it drops off a little bit.
The Lady Panthers, 17 wins. Somebody was telling me that's as much as they've had in the past several years combined. Is that right?
Yeah, they went 17-32, I believe, last 2 years combined, so they're already at that mark. And that's pretty impressive, especially for a team that does not have a single senior on it.
Oh, wow.
So things are looking up for the Lady Panthers.
Well, and this is the same group of kids, too, that have kind of done well across the board in all the sports. Softball last year getting to the sectional final. They were winning away from the Supers. Volleyball was about 500. They're much improved. So it's the same group of kids that are now pretty much bringing up all the sports across the board. So this is another example of that.
And now it's time for everybody's favorite segment, NT Prep Preview Powerhouse Players. Mr. Baker, if you would be so kind, could you roll that tape, please, sir?
Powerhouse Players of the Week.
Powerhouse Players of the Week.
Powerhouse Players of the Week. How's that?
Well, guys, it's been a while since I got to see that video. It never gets old, though. But we mentioned Cyrano Rayfield, the 220-pound junior from Ottawa. He's our first powerhouse player. Like I said, he finished 2nd at the PIT at his weight, which was an area best. He wasn't a top seed. He was maybe about a 5 or a 6 or so. But he ended up beating the unbeaten number 2 seed in the quarterfinals. In the semifinals, he beat the unbeaten number 3 seed. And then he lost to the top seed, which was a kid from Plano, who was ranked number 2 in the state in Class 1A. It was one of those things in which it was a very close match. It was tied late. He actually got taken down with 5 seconds left in the match. So even though he did get second, he did lose by a 4-2 decision. He very easily could have won, which, given, like I said earlier, given that field with all those ranked kids, that was a really impressive win or impressive performance for him at a really tough tournament.
And moving on to basketball, we have Daniela Pavlovich from the Putnam County Lady Panthers, who we mentioned earlier. She's one of their top players, and she proved it last week. She had 17 points against Orville Leland, then had 15 points as well as 6 steals against Hall. So she had a big lead for the Lady Panthers.
Yeah, Danielle's a repeat performer here for us.
She's living up to your nickname, Chris, of Big Dog.
Big Dog. She's got some of the quickest feet in the Tri-County Conference, that's for sure. And last but not least, we're moving on to Nathan Hellacious Helly. The Henry Jr. had 21 points and 8 rebounds in a win over Putnam County Friday and added 20 points against a strong Weathersfield Ball Club Saturday for the Mallards. Thanks for watching NT Prep Preview, and check us next week where we'll talk about sports here at www.newstrib.com/sports.